When I was growing up, I was pretty deeply affected by a handful of movies. I mean, who isn't, right? But when I think back on it, there was a central theme I think that I can totally say that stuck with me. You know, I don't know why it felt like it was in all of these movies. Maybe it's just the one thing I wanted to notice, but maybe it was the times. I'm not really sure. Anyway, some of my favorite movies growing up, and when I say movies growing up, most of these are animated because I'm talking about a time when I was pretty young, old. But I'm talking about the movie Dinosaur. It was animated. It was about an iguanodon and a migration. His name was Aladar. And I remember from that movie, we'll start with this one. There are so many. That Aladar didn't quite fit in. He was raised by monkeys on an island really far away from dinosaurs because his egg got swept away when he was young. And I remember he was just treated a lot differently from the other dinosaurs. As soon as he found other dinosaurs, when he reunited with them, he was like, oh my gosh, look, people like me. But people didn't really feel like he was a lot like them. Another one of my favorite movies, The Fox and the Hound. This has a little bit more to do with like relationships between people, but it was, foxes and hounds are not, and I mean not supposed to hang out together. So it has a lot to do with their friendship and kind of getting along with somebody that is, different from you. Another movie I feel like fits like the themes of both of these things a little bit is Tarzan. I super love Tarzan. I really love it because even more when I grow up, because when you grow up, you can put words to the things that you were seeing. But when you're young, I feel like you put the feelings to the things that you're seeing. And it did stay with me, but going back in time and seeing it all, it's like, whoa, I didn't even realize how impactful it was, but surely it stuck with me for some reason. It's really curious how kids just pick up on those things and never forget. I don't know how, we don't know why, but they stay with us. And as an adult, I mean, I still can't say why, so now I can say why. I guess that's more my point, is now I can put words to the fact that it's obvious that, Tarzan was an oddball. He was a human raised by apes. And when he finally met humans, they were not a big fan of that. What's another one? Really enjoyed Bambi. Bambi's amazing. But really, even though I love Bambi, I'm oddly enough talking about like the sequel, like Bambi 2. I don't know if many people have actually seen Bambi 2. I think it's one of the better sequels to an animated movie. It's not Bambi. I know it will never be. But this movie was amazing because it focused on the relationship of a single parent father with his son. And that one that stuck with me because it was just, I've never seen, I don't see a lot of media talking about that topic because, spoilers if you've never seen Bambi, just skip a little bit. But, after his mother, was, unfortunately she did pass away because of a hunter, his dad had to take him in, and you can almost see the father learning a lot about how to be, I don't know, I feel like he was healing from things having to take Bambi in, and it was just really sweet and endearing. I also love the soundtrack in that movie. Bambi, never really felt like he was like the same as the other deer, because not only was he expected to become like the next prince of the forest, but he was without a mother, and that made him strange. My favorite movie of all time is The Iron Giant, just so you know. I think anybody who knows me knows that's my favorite movie of all time. But I mean, I have a lot of other favorite movies, but I'm talking about the ones that I grew up on. Primarily in terms of like animated movies. The Iron Giant is a story about a giant robot that comes from the sky, and inevitably he meets up with a young boy named Hogarth. The Iron Giant is suspected to be alien, like sent by the Russians, because he lands in America. It's a spectacular movie because it taught me the lesson of, you know, the big thing about the movie is you are who you choose to be. The power of choice and deciding who you are. I feel like I'm spitballing these movies really fast, short synopsis, but I'm telling you that I have ideas that wrap all of these up in the end. Please stay with me, I promise. Another movie I super enjoyed growing up was Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, because I also felt that it had these themes of like segregation. Somehow, I don't know if anybody else saw it, but sort of, you know, when Westerners butted heads with the Native Americans, but I felt like you really saw this story of what was happening through Spirit and how the Westerners were trying to tame Spirit and take him from his family and use him for their own agenda, things like this. Another movie I really love is Dragonheart, which is that this one's not like a cartoon animation movie, but it is a movie about a knight who is known to be a dragon slayer, and there's only one more dragon left. And so this dragon slayer is trying to kill this giant drake, and the drake doesn't really care. He's like, okay, well, yeah, if you kill me though, you're out of a job. And they butt heads a lot, but they become friends. I think I said a lot in about 8 minutes. I'm trying to think if there are really any more. I bet I'll think of some after and just be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think of that. But all of these movies somehow empower the protagonists to, I guess there are a lot like FI lead movies. Sorry, nerdy MBTI. These movies are like empowerment of the little man in a way, and that power of choice is what I'm talking about, whether it's your personal development or what you decide to do, what you think is righteous in this life, who you decide your friends will be. I feel like these values are so strong even within me. I felt like my whole life, you know, I never quite fit in with the people I am already around. I don't know why. I mean, I wasn't a popular kid, but I wasn't really a bad kid either. Just kind of quiet. And it makes so much sense now, based on my life decisions, you know, the person that I love, you know, it feels so cosmically set up. I don't know if like my mindset just led me to such places in my life or what, but it feels like the world had been preparing me for the future that I'm living now. Because I feel that, you know, like I feel like to even do what I'm doing now with art and everything, I'm going against the grain. I feel like doing it alone is also going against the grain. I feel like me wanting to travel, me wanting to expose myself to other cultures and things like this, I long to learn more things, and I am so wanting new experiences and seeing new perspectives, like getting out of my comfort zone to understand the world. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this is it's so important. And where I grew up, that's not something people really do. They're born here, and then they stay here until they have kids, and then their kids have kids here, and everyone just stays here forever. It's really, really hard to go against the grain, though. Like, no matter where you are, I think your environment definitely makes it easier sometimes, but it is not easy to be individualistic. And that's so strange, because I know in the West, that's the whole thing, like, be your own person. But the way they sell that idea is not feasible. They want you to do everything by yourself. And I don't really believe in that. I believe, that individualism is important, but no one should have to do everything alone. Like, we're social creatures. We were meant to be in tribes. We're psychologically built this way, and socially we're very good at it. Being an individualistic person definitely has its perks, but we're still a part, like a beautiful blend with the big man in a way. Would I trade my individualism to fit better into the machine? When I was younger, I think sometimes I wish now, today, it was easier, because I feel I have to take different methods to get anywhere in a way. Like, because of my spirit and my heart, I have to avoid the path of least resistance. I do think that those who fit into the system are necessary, and they are appreciated more. But, I feel like an individual is just as valuable. They're just fewer and far between. And I think big systems don't value individualistic people, and individualistic people sneer at those who fit into the machine better, however you want to put it. But individuals can see like shortcomings in a system in a way that a system cannot. And a system will always stay one way and then never get new ideas, be improved upon, revamped, have new innovations without individuals. And I feel individuals do get a bit of the short stick on this, because when you're an individual, you have to be a loud voice against a giant, how do I put it? Well, just a giant, anything really. And that's really hard to be and do just by speaking. Like, I feel like maybe that's why individuals tend to be really creative people. You have to get creative into getting people to listen to you. Especially because they're so dead set on things being a certain way or looking a certain way. Everybody wants what everybody... it's almost like in that one song by Mika, Grace Kelly. Everybody wants what everybody thinks they should want. But, if something stays the same for a long period of time, it kind of gives way to evolution in a way it might die. That's why things evolve over time, and even systems are like this. Even civilizations are like this. Sometimes it needs a revamp. You know, like, for example, here in the West, I hear a lot of people say, like, well, now I can't afford to buy a house. Times have changed. And so, you know, for example, like, you can't just grind until you get a house. Now, decades before, was that the answer? I think it was the answer. And I think that's maybe why older generations say this. They just don't have perspective that it's not feasible anymore. And so, like, the younger generation has to adapt. I'm not really quite sure how this all links together. I'm just saying, being an individual nowadays is very difficult, but I am grateful because I feel that the movies I grew up with got me ready for this fast-paced world more than anything. Like, if I had not had movies that said that message, would I have turned out different? You know what? Maybe I might have, but what if I hadn't? You know, what if I didn't have anybody to help empower me or tell me it's okay, that, like, there are ways you will find your people, you can find love, and, you know, you'll learn to get along with strangers. And just because you feel one way and other people do not feel that way doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that you think differently. And so I'm very grateful for those animated movies. The moral of those stories, you know, is listen to your heart and do what you feel is right, even when everybody says that you're wrong, or no one believes in you, or people don't want to give you a chance. Because I think it's so important that in the end, you give you a chance. And I don't think anyone should ever deter you from trying to do what you believe in, what you believe is right. Because it's really easy to give up. It's really easy to fit in and to not speak up. It's so much easier. But if you truly value something and believe in it, if you truly love something, if you truly respect yourself in a way that you won't give up on your dreams because you're just gonna succumb to whatever other people say, just stand strong. Because it's not for the weak, you know, it's not for the faint of heart to be who you are. Now, I'm not saying, you know, be who you are at the expense of others. Please don't go around, like, hurting people. Like, please don't be obnoxious about who you are in a way that, you know, scares people. There is a grace to it. Just stay true in your stride and do the best that you can. And know that even though you feel that no one believes in you, or you feel like things are impossible, or the weight of the world is upon you and it will take you down, keep your head up. And also let me know what animated films when you were younger changed you, or if you've seen any recently that have just really hit home with you or just really good, because I could use a lot of new movie recommendations, and I definitely love going back in time to see cool new stuff. So yeah, with all that being said, I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye.